Thank you so much for attending my PowerPoint presentation explaining every type of Bloon in BTD6. The Bloons are the single most persistent threat to monkey society, and in today's video, we're going to go over the health, speed, immunities, and completely explain every single Bloon type in the game, from the lowly red to the airships that will inevitably ruin your black border run. The red Bloon is the unit of measurement for everything in this game, which is honestly a bit insulting to the concept of measurement. It has exactly one health point, and it moves at a baseline speed of 25 units per second, and it pops into absolutely nothing. It first appears on round 1, where 20 of them drift aimlessly towards your defense. If you manage to lose lives to a lone red balloon, you should probably just put the tablet down and reconsider your hobbies. It has no immunities and exists solely to be a $ with a hitbox. The community has turned this pathetic specimen into a meme by calling the Camo Regrow Red the scariest thing in the game, which is a funny joke until you realize how many people actually struggle with the basic mechanics this thing represents. It's the only Bloon in the game without children, making it the literal bottom of the food chain. Moving up the ladder of mediocrity, we have the blue Bloon. This thing shows up on round 3, and it's basically just a red Bloon with a slightly better coat of paint. It moves at 35 units per second, which is 1.4 times the speed of the red. Wow, what a massive achievement for a piece of rubber. It has an RBE, which is red Bloon equivalent, of 2 because it contains one red Bloon inside of it. This is the game's way of teaching you about layers. Though if you need a tutorial to understand that popping a Bloon might reveal another Bloon, I'm not sure how you've made it this far into this presentation. Round 10 sends a rush of 102 of these things, which is the first time the game asks if you have any pierce at all. It's a forgettable Bloon for a forgettable part of the game. Since we're already on the subject of things that move slightly faster than a snail, let's talk about the green Bloon. These things show up on round 6, and they are the very first real speed check you'll encounter. They move at 45 units per second, which is 1.8 times the baseline, and they contain a single blue Bloon, which of course contains a single red. Round 18 features a rush of 80 greens, which can actually sneak past a defense if you're being greedy with your farms and only have a single dart monkey. The interesting thing here is that green Bloons move at the exact same speed as the zebra and black Bloon, which feels like a lazy design choice if you ask me. If you think the green Bloon is fast though, you're clearly not prepared for the yellow Bloon. Appearing on round 11, these things are a massive jump in threat level, moving at 80 units per second. That's 3.2 times the speed of a red Bloon, and it's the first time you'll see towers actually start to whiff their shots. A base bomb shooter trying to hit a yellow Bloon is one of the most pathetic sights in the game. It's like watching a toddler try to catch a fly. Yellow Bloons contain one green Bloon, giving it an RBE of 4. If you don't have something with decent projectile speed or tracking by the time these show up in groups on round 21, you're likely going to have a bad time. From one fast Bloon to the absolute king of the standard layers, we have the pink Bloon. This is the fastest non-MOBA Bloon in existence, moving at 87.5 units per second, or 3.5 times the baseline. It appears on round 15, and its only job is to expose how bad your tower placement really is. It contains a yellow Bloon, but the real danger isn't the layers, it's the fact that it's halfway across the map before your sniper can even chamber around. The pink Bloon is essentially the benchmark for accuracy. If your defense can't handle a pink, it's not a defense. It's the unofficial mascot of Oops, I Leaked a Life, and it deserves a lot more respect than the community gives it. Also, it's pink, and that makes it awesome. Now we have to talk about the regrow property, which shows up on round 17 with some yellows. This isn't a standard Bloon type, it's a property that can be given to any Bloon type, but we need to talk about it. A regrow Bloon will generate its layers over time if you don't finish it off. If you pop a regrow rainbow down to a green and let it sit, it will regrow back into a rainbow, which is a level of persistence I honestly wish some of you had. This leads to the infamous regrow farm, where a tower with high pierce but low damage keeps popping Bloons that just grow back, eventually filling the screen until your game crashes. If you're building a defense that tickles regrow Bloons instead of killing them, you're actively helping the enemy. Moving on to the world of actual immunities, we have the Black Bloon on round 20. This thing is immune to explosions, which makes every bomb shooter and mortar monkey on your map look absolutely pathetic. It moves at the same speed as a green Bloon and contains 2 pink Bloons. This is the first time a Bloon splits into multiple children, which is also a major hurdle for single target towers. If your entire strategy is just to blow things up, round 20 is the game's way of calling you a one-trick pony. It forces you to diversify, or else you'll just sit there watching your bombs do 0 damage to a small piece of rubber, which is embarrassing. Exactly 2 rounds later, on round 22, the game gives us the white Bloon. It's the mirror of the black Bloon, meaning it's immune to all ice and freezing effects. It's slightly faster than the black Bloon, moving at 2 times baseline speed, which is a weird inconsistency that has always bothered me. It also contains 2 pinks. While ice immunity isn't as devastating as explosion immunity, since fewer people rely on the ice monkey, it's still a nuisance. If you're trying to stall everything at the front of the track, these things are just gonna walk on by, or well, I guess float by, through your frost and laugh at you. It's a middle of the pack threat and mostly exists to make sure you aren't over-relying on one primary tower. Speaking of things that make your towers look stupid, let's talk about the Camo property. It shows up on round 24 as a single green Bloon. This is essentially a tax on your defense. You either pay for camo detection or you lose a life. Camo makes the Bloon invisible to any tower that doesn't have the specific goggles or training to see it. If you don't have a ninja, a sub, or a village with radar scanner, your towers will just sit there and let the Bloons float by. It's the most binary mechanic in the game. You either have the answer or you die. Using Etienne just to get global camo at level 8 is a bit of a lazy move, but I suppose I can't blame you for not wanting to deal with this headache. But wait, before we go any further, I have to mention the video sponsor, me. If you're enjoying this breakdown of why you're probably bad at BTD6, consider subscribing so you don't miss my next presentation. It's free, it's fast, and unlike a Regrow Rainbow, it won't ruin your life. Okay, back to the video. The purple Bloon is the ultimate anti-meta unit. It showed up for the first time in BTD6 and has been ruining lives ever since. It's immune to energy, fire, and plasma attacks, which covers about 80% of the cool upgrades in this game. If you're using a sun avatar or a wizard without a physical backup, the purple Bloon is your literal nightmare. It moves at 3 times the baseline speed, making it the 3rd fastest Bloon in the game. It shows up on round 25 and contains 2 pinks. It has no parent Bloon, it just exists to tell your super monkey that his laser beams don't mean anything. It's a spiteful, fast, and dangerous addition to the roster. Next we have the Zebra Bloon on round 26. This is the hybrid that nobody asked for. It combines the immunities of the black and white Bloons, making it immune to both explosions and ice. It moves at 1.8 times the baseline speed and contains 1 black and 1 white Bloon inside. While it seems scary on paper, it mostly is just a stepping stone to the rainbow. It's the kind of Bloon that makes you realize that stacking cool effects isn't always enough to win. Most players treat it as a background actor in the chaos of the mid-game, but if you're relying on a specific stall strategy, the Zebra is there to remind you that life isn't fair. From a fast hybrid to a slow tank, we have the Lead Bloon on round 28. This is the classic noob killer. It's immune to every sharp projectile in the game. Darts, tacks, spikes, arrows, they all just bounce off. It moves at the same measly speed as a red Bloon, but it doesn't need speed because it's literally made of metal. You need fire, explosions, or some acidic mixture drip to crack this thing open. It contains 2 black Bloons, which is a diabolical design choice because once you finally pop the lead layer with an explosion, the children inside are immune to the explosions. If you aren't prepared for round 28, you deserve the loss. It's a gatekeeper that separates the players from the losers. The Rainbow Bloon is where things start to get crowded. Appearing on round 35, it moves at 2.2 times the baseline speed and contains 2 Zebra Bloons. The RBE of a single Rainbow Bloon is 47, which doesn't sound like much until you realize how many children it spawns. Popping a single rainbow creates a cascade of 32 red Bloons eventually. When they show up as regrows on round 39, they become the most dangerous thing on the map. If you don't have high pierce, the Rainbow Bloon will turn your screen into a kaleidoscope of failure. It's the first Bloon that actually feels like a swarm rather than a single target. When you combine Camo and Regrow, you get the Cam Grow, a term the community uses to describe their own impending doom. These show up on round 36 with greens, and they are just absolutely annoying. You need to see them and you need to kill them before they grow back. If you only have one of those things, you're just wasting your time. It's a double threat of invisibility and regeneration that tests your ability to multitask. Round 42 is the most famous example where Camo Regrow rainbows try to bypass your defense. If you don't have an answer for these, you're playing a very dangerous game with your money. Now we're getting into the heavy hitters. The ceramic balloon shows up on round 38, and it is the first balloon with a health bar instead of just layers. Its shell takes 10 hits to crack, or 20 if it's fortified. It moves at 2.5 times the baseline speed, which is surprisingly fast for something carrying that much weight. Once the shell breaks, it releases 2 rainbows. Round 63 is the most legendary round for these things. 3 massive waves of 122 ceramics that will absolutely crush any defense that doesn't have incredible density control. It's the mini boss of the standard Bloons, and it's responsible for more failed chimps runs than almost anything else. The massive Henri Air Blimp, or Moab, is the first Blimp class balloon that you'll encounter on round 40. It has 200 health on its outer layer and moves at the baseline speed of a red balloon. When it pops, it drops 4 ceramics, which is usually the part that actually kills you. It's the boss fight on easy mode, and it's the first real test of your single target damage. If your defense is all about popping thousands of small balloons, the Moab will just sail right through your darts. The blue blimp is iconic, but honestly, if you can't kill a round 40 Moab in 2026, you might as well find a new game to play. Fortified first appears on round 45 with leads, and it simply doubles or quadruples, in the case of lead, the health of whatever it's attached to. A fortified lead goes from 1 health to 4, which is annoying but manageable. A fortified Moab has 400 health and a fortified ceramic has 20. It's a pure honest health multiplier. There's no tricks here, just more rubber to pop. It represents the escalating difficulty of the mid game and reminds you that your DPS needs to keep scaling or you're gonna hit a wall. It's the most straightforward villain in the game. It doesn't hide, it just refuses to die. The brutal floating behemoth shows up on round 60 to end your medium difficulty runs. It has 700 health and moves at a pathetic 0.25 times the baseline speed. It's slow, it's red, and it's huge. But the real problem is the cargo. It contains 4 Moabs, which each contain 4 ceramics. That's a total of 16 ceramics coming out of 1 blimp, the equivalent of 3,164 red balloons. The BFB is less of a speed threat and more of a volume threat. It tests if you can maintain your damage over a long period of time. If you pop it too late in the track, the children will just overwhelm your exit before you can blink. It's the mid-game gatekeeper that you have to respect. On round 67, the game decides to throw a Camo fortified ceramic at you. This is the triple threat. It's invisible, it regenerates, and it has double health. It's the most complicated standard balloon you will ever face. You need camo detection, you need high DPS to crack the 20 health shell, and you need to finish it off before it grows back. It's a mouthful to say and a nightmare to deal with. These things show up in massive groups on round 90 as leads, and it's the killer of many a run. It's a beautifully diabolical combination of every mechanic we've discussed so far. The Zeppelin of mighty gargantuanness is the round 80 boss and the final hurdle for hard mode. It has 4,000 health and moves at 0.18 times the baseline speed. It's a literal snail in the sky. It releases 4 BFBs when it pops, leading to a cascade of hundreds of Bloons. The ZOMG is a raw HP check. It doesn't have immunities, it's just very, very tanky. It's also immune to most knockback and insta-kills, meaning you can't just cheese it as easy as a Moab. If you can't chew through 4,000 health before it crawls across the map, your defense is officially a failure. It has a red balloon equivalent of 16,656. Round 98 is the ultimate ZOMG apocalypse, and it's where most players lose their sanity. Once you pass round 80, the game changes the rules. Every ceramic balloon becomes a super ceramic. These things have 60 health, up from 10, but they only release 1 child instead of 2. This was a move by Ninja Kiwi to stop the game from lagging out in the high rounds, but it also makes the balloons much harder to kill with Pierce-based towers. You can no longer rely on things that pop many layers at once. You need raw, single-target power. Super ceramics are the enemy of the late game because they're the reason you leak lives on round 81, even though your defense killed the ZOMGs. They're dense, they're fast, and they are purely there to end your run. Now we have to talk about the most hated Bloon in the history of the franchise, the Dark Dirigible Titan. The DDT appears on round 90 and it is a literal nightmare. It's a Moab that is camo, lead, and black all at once. This means if your defense isn't completely dialed in, you cannot touch the DDT. It moves at 2.64 times the baseline speed, which is faster than a regular ceramic. It's a blimp that zooms like a pink balloon. Round 95 sends 30 of these things at you, and it's the single biggest skill check in the game. If you don't have a MIB or a specialized DDT popper like an Archmage or Preemptive Strike, you're done. There's no middle ground with the DDT, it's the ultimate villain. But it's not the final Bloon on our list. The big airship of doom is the round 100 final boss. It has 20,000 health, which scales up to 28,000 actually by the time you see it on round 100. It's completely immune to everything. No stuns, no slows, no knockbacks, no insta-kills. You can't freeze it, you can't hook it, you can't slow it down. You just have to hit it until it dies. When it pops, it releases 2 ZOMGs and 3 DDTs, which is the ultimate gotcha moment. If you use all your abilities to kill the BAD, you won't have anything left for the DDTs that come out of it. It's the final exam of BTD6, and it's the only reason people care about BAD damage when they're talking about tower tiers. Thanks for watching, and subscribe.